Welcome to the Mediocre to Magnificent podcast. I'm your co-host, Braxton Matson, and your host, Lee A. Williams, and I just want to say thank you for tuning in because you are what makes this pure magnificence. You are the ripple effect of magnificence, and we are going to bring you a message that will give you insight, inspire you, motivate you, and challenge you to not only grow in your magnificence, but let you know that you are magnificent in everything you do. So stay tuned, you don't want to miss it. We're here, man.
Yes, we are.
How you feeling?
Magnificent. Back for another one.
I'm feeling strong, man.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
You look pretty strong, but
I'm feeling like, I wouldn't say smaller, but
smaller.
But like, you know how like you the regular clothes you wear,
More compact.
you know, it feels a little looser.
A little loose.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. How's this working out, man?
I don't know. I mean, so I mean, we made a point, and it wasn't the New Year thing. It was more for like, okay, I had some blood work done, and I was like, okay, these are this is high. I don't know why this is high. So I got okay, got to work on this. And then you have brought up the 10K run, right? So I had signed up for that in December. January roll around. I'm like, man, this is March 16th when we got to do this run.
We gotta do the run.
I'm like, it's a 10K.
Would you?
And I'm like, I think I can count maybe two hands. I think I maybe ran two 10Ks.
In your life?
In my life, for real.
Wow.
For real.
Well, here we go.
I'm more of a 5K guy.
You're more of a 5K. Let's tell her what I said jokingly offline. And I was like, so, well, this is the joke for offline for everybody listening. Like, on race day, you know, I'm calling everybody, saying, hey, man, I'm signed up for a race. I thought about you, man. How about you come out there and run it with me? And then on race day, I'm going to call and be like, hey, man, what's going on? Oh, yeah, man. Oh, man, I wasn't planning on running.
I wasn't planning on running.
I was just getting you out there. Love you. Good luck.
Oh, man.
What would you do what would Jamie do if I was like,
I don't even know.
hey, man, yeah. It's like, where you at, man? I'm out here. I'm like, man, I wasn't coming. It was just to get you out there.
I know for me, I'd be like, well, I'm doing it for me, man. I'm doing it for me, man. But
doing it for me, man.
It was so funny because so we were like, okay, because then we're like, okay, well, we got to get everything in check. We got eating, all kinds of stuff. Check. Like we got to really look at this because it's not just because of the race, but because it's just we need like lifestyle change for real. So we start making the changes, and I'm in my head, I'm going, I have got to get cardio in. Like I can't run a race without having cardio. Like you don't do that. It's not like I go to the gym and lift some weights and I got cardio. It don't work like that. So we go to a trail, you know,
close to the house.
Close to the house.
Yeah.
I'm like, man, this is perfect right here.
This is perfect.
The loop is long enough to where I could like, you know, it's only going to take maybe 2-3 to get like to 3 miles or something like that. So I'm like, okay. So we were like, okay, it was a good day, like 60-something degrees, sunny. I'm like, okay, let's just go for a walk. Like I wasn't even thinking about like pushing it just to see. So we're like, okay, let's just do intervals. Let's do 1 minute intervals.
1 minute intervals.
And I told Candace, we need to, well, we both said we need to at least do 3 miles. At least 3 miles.
At least 3 miles.
So we start doing the intervals. And I'm feeling okay. Like the first, I don't know, the first half mile, I'm like, okay, yeah. Like I gotta work the rust off. Like,
really?
yeah,
You're knocking stuff off.
Because I'm heavier than I was when I did the 5. Wait, I mean, yeah, like I'm heavier.
You got your grown man weight.
But you know how like as we just kind of like push through it. So I'm like, okay, this is good. Candace is keeping up. She's doing good. We get through the first lap, and I didn't know this at the time until Candace told me, but she was like this is brutal.
Oh no.
Like for real. And I was, but we did the 3 miles, but man, you know how like you do a long hike and then you like get in the car and you got to drive, like, because we live on the south side, like all the hiking, nice hiking is up north.
Yeah.
Then you get home and you're like stove up getting out of the car.
That was y'all's experience.
Well, it was kind of like that, yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, I felt good because I was like, man, this is the first time I really got out there and started running. I'm like, man, I did 3 miles. I did intervals.
For what you wanted to have happen. Yeah, you did what you wanted to do.
I'm like, okay, well, that's baseline.
Baseline.
So, like, this episode, it's like, okay, where do marginal gains come into play? Because marginal gains to me is everything.
Yeah, if you were asking me where they come into play, I would say everywhere.
Everywhere. Right. Like, if you can just do one thing to improve that one thing. I mean, it's almost like if you're trying to learn how to the guitar or like piano. If you just study, I don't know, 5 minutes a day.
5 minutes a day.
Or maybe 5 minutes every 3 days out of the week. You're one step closer to learning piano.
One step closer, huh?
That's marginal gains.
That's marginal.
And it compounds over time.
It compounds, man. Let me say this, man. Marginal gains is the idea that small incremental improvements can add up to significant results.
Right.
And it can be applied to several areas of your life.
Right. So that's my mindset.
Yeah.
Like I'm like, okay, I'm doing this 10K. I'm not gonna be perfect at it. Not supposed to be perfect at it. But if I do marginal gains, I'll be better than I was when I started.
Especially the person that invited you ain't even showing up.
So
could you imagine, man?
Honestly, I kind of like I would have laughed.
If the race starts at 8, at what time would you, if you hadn't seen me or heard from me, what time would you be like? Would you call?
Oh, well, I probably would have called.
At what time? Like if the race starts, like you're in the starting lineup, like they're about to blow the. They're about to shoot the gun.
If I'm in the starting lineup, man, I'm like, no, I can't call you, man. He just ain't showing. I'm like,
he just ain't showing.
He just not here.
Wow.
But then I'm thinking, well, something happened because Lee would show up. Yeah. I'm like, because that's just not Lee.
What was the whole thing was for you to be out there to get you out there.
Well, then that's what it was.
But see, that's so great because what's the prediction? Gains. Sometimes people say the prediction is pain, like the way you were like, man, it was
suffer fast.
I had to knock the rust off. It was brutal. But it's like if we're talking about marginal gains, what's your prediction?
Right,
gains,
marginal gains.
Even if it was just lubricating your joint. Even if it was just like, if you were a runner once or were an athlete sometime in your life or were
muscle memory.
It's like
just like
you firing the back up.
Right.
To say, hey, you know what we're getting ready to do, right?
Yeah.
That's basically like
that's basically what
you're having a conversation within yourself.
Right.
Without even speaking.
Yeah.
Once you start jogging, running, whatever, there's signals going. Like, oh, this is what you want.
It's like, okay.
Okay.
We're in. All in.
I gotta start conserving. I gotta start utilizing different nutrients, different
right.
vitamins,
Change stuff up.
I gotta start sending stuff different places.
Doing different things.
I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
I'm watching it.
So that week we did that. The next week, like every Sunday, I'm trying to do a 5, like something running. I'm trying to do something longer than what the week would be.
The week.
So like the week I'm building up, I'm strength training, whatever. Then I just go out there and I just knock something out that's a little bit more challenging than what I would be doing during the week.
Wow.
So this is what I do.
Okay.
Sunday roll around, and I'm thinking, okay, we did, I think it was like 3 laps. 3 laps got us around like 5K almost. It was like 3.5 or something. And I was like, okay, I'm going to increase my intervals. So let's do 2 minutes.
2 minutes.
Do 2 minutes on, 1 minute off.
Yeah.
And then let's do 4 to 5 laps.
4 to 5. What's the difference in initiation between 4 or 5?
So you're pushing.
Just after you how you feel after 4, or what gets you to 5? I just want to see.
Well, I think more. It was more like I was just set. I set for 4. Well, really, I was setting for a mileage, so I was like 5K.
Okay, so you're monitoring on your.
So I was doing like, okay, let's go for. I need to do at least a 5K.
Yeah.
And so I was doing 2 minute on, 1 minute off, running it. I get to a certain point, and I'm like, because it was also a time thing, because I was cooking dinner at the time. I was going to cook dinner, so I was like, okay, I gotta be home by so and so time.
Right.
And so I get to the point where I'm getting to the 4th lap, and I'm like, oh, I got more time. And I'm like, okay, let's just keep going. Just keep going.
Let's just keep going.
Just see just see.
See how your body responds.
And I wound up doing like almost a 10K.
Almost a 10K.
Almost a 10K the second week. On intervals. Like I didn't push myself. I did intervals.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh man,
I'm back. I'm coming back.
I was like, well, okay. I was like, okay. Now it wasn't like, it was challenging. Like from your body standpoint, you got to be able to handle the impact and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So that was new, but
yeah,
I'm still like, man. And but what was so crazy is like, you sit there and think this one standard, like, oh man, I can't do this is all I can do.
Right.
And it's like, okay, well, let's marginal gains. Let's just push it a little further. See how you
push further.
I was like, okay.
What is your further?
Yeah.
That's it.
Right. That's what was so crazy about it.
So I just want to share this. Yahusha used the mustard seed as an example of how a small thing can make a big impact.
Small them, yeah.
Marginal gain.
Marginal gains.
If you go out, whatever you're doing in life.
Yeah.
You just have to say, okay, well, it's a little better, a little further, a little more.
Yeah. A little further, just a little bit more. Just challenge it. Push it a little bit.
Just a little bit.
Don't stay in your comfort zone.
And a lot of times, especially like say if we're just using the running example, is because you can keep track of the distance. You can keep track of the time.
Right.
If you really are tapped in, you really could tap into how you feeling. So then it's like, well, the interval, you're like
the pace. The pace of each one, yeah.
It's like if you can't expect what you don't expect, and there's so many things that could give you feedback for you to look at to say, okay, well, last time I went out here, it took me this long to get here.
Yeah,
I've got to get there faster.
Right.
And not only do I got to get there faster, but when I get there, it's not over. I've got to go further.
Right. I mean,
I got to get there faster and go further. And then that's end up how you that's how you end up having Roger Bannister.
Right.
And then once Roger Bannister does his thing, everybody does it. But he was expecting something, but he was also willing to
go further.
Expect it. Yeah. And put things in place to say, oh no, when I'm coming around this corner, I gotta be at.
Right. And that's what I mean. But yeah, see, that's the whole thing with marginal gains. And then even after that, Lee, like strength training.
Yeah.
So I mean, we got a Peloton at the house.
Yeah.
There is no reason
No reason.
why I can't be strength training, even if on a rainy day. There is no way you tell me I can't get any kind of cardio in. So I do Peloton to help strength train, but I also do like body weight lift, that stuff too. But I got on the Peloton, and typically I'll do 20 minutes. I'll do some course on the bike for 20 minutes, right?
Right.
And here's the thing. Peloton has this thing where you see the screen and it gives you this star and it gives you your highest score on there.
Yeah, measure, man.
And I'm like, and it's been a while since I've even gotten close to that score.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting there like, man, like, because the first time I got on the Peloton when I started doing this, I was like, man, I don't know how I got to that record.
Oh,
like,
wow.
that's yeah. Well, I was sitting there thinking, like, from what I did from a 20-minute exercise, I was like, I did this 20-minute exercise and I did that.
Wow.
Back then. But get this, I got on it the second time. I broke it. I'm 50 plus pounds heavier than I was.
Wow. Already broke it.
And
so
I broke
stronger.
it.
You're stronger. It's a better perspective.
But yeah.
You're stronger.
But then I go, and then Candace, she was telling me about they have this these classes, like, oh man, yeah, and it was intense. And she was like, that piqued my interest. Because I'm like, oh, it's intense, really? Like how? Like I was trying, oh, how intense? And she's like, well, you need to just try it out. Try out the course. So she was like, she did 30 minutes. So I was like, okay. And I'm like 30 minutes, because trying to sit on a bike for 30 minutes on that kind of seat is rough. I'm sorry, it's a little rough if you're not used to it.
You gotta get out of the saddle, baby.
Yeah, you got to. You have to. So I'm like, okay, I'll do 30 minutes. Now, this is the first time I've done a 30-minute exercise in a long time.
Okay.
And I see the record that I did.
Marginal gain.
And I'm like, I did this. And guess what?
What?
First time, 30 minutes. There was a point halfway through the thing. I was 15 points behind my record.
15.
About halfway through. And you know, they give you this cadence and
you were behind your
I was on my own record. And I was already like halfway through the thing. And there's this cadence thing.
Yeah.
So
pick up the pace, baby.
But and they a lot of times they will stick within this cadence, stick within this.
No.
And I'm like, I mean, I can, but I'm not getting anything out of it.
Right. I need to break the record.
So I jack the resistance up, and I start making marginal. Start catching up to it.
Away at it, man.
I broke that record 10 over.
Yeah.
Just because I wanted to go a little further.
Yeah, you gotta go further, huh?
And because I was like, I'm not sitting to a standard that they're giving me on a screen.
Somebody else set the standard.
And I was like, wow.
They don't know me.
And I'm like, what the heck, man? I'm like, I'm not even the same. I'm not even as fit as I was. Well, I say that, but
you say that.
And then I'm sitting there thinking, like, man, like I could do way more.
There was one time
than what I think I can.
Me and my wife went to the gym, man. Get on the bike. Same type, kind of bike, like, it's not a Peloton because at the gym.
Right.
But it's like so you start off, I put it up to like 7.
Yeah.
But then every minute you go up 1.
Ooh.
Every minute, no matter what. And you have to keep the RPM above 70.
Whew.
And you have to keep the range of miles per hour at like 17 to 18. It cannot go past. No matter that you go up.
Yeah.
Resistance.
Yeah.
No matter. Legs on fire, about to fall off.
No matter.
You go up.
Keep going.
Until the time that you said you were going to be on there is done.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
it changes you. Like when you can do that, like you commit mentally to that.
Yeah,
man.
It's like but see the marginal place is great because the marginal place happens in your mind.
It does. It's all in your head. Like it has nothing to do with your physical ability to do something.
It had you telling your body,
right?
This is what we're doing today.
And you do it.
This is what we're doing today. So we say, what's your prediction? You do what I tell you to do today.
Right, right.
That's the conversation what you have with your body.
Right.
Like, this is happening today.
Right. I don't care how it's happening. It's going to happen.
It's when you get hit. Like, everybody has a plan until you get punched in the face. Like, it's when you get hit.
Yeah.
It's what you tell yourself. Like, if you, I mean, and you vulnerably said what your process was for everybody.
Right.
To say, like, man, well, I'm heavier, or I hadn't been on here, or I hadn't done it in a long time, and I hadn't. It's like, but something clicked in your mind.
Right.
And you said, what? What?
Yeah.
They don't know who I am.
Right.
They don't know what I'm dealing with. And so a lot of time people, so I'll read this. Yahusha used the yeast as an example of how small amount can permeate an entire batch. But everybody always wants to be like, leaven the sin, the sin, the sin. But what if we take it from just a little bit? Makes the whole batch rise.
Yeah.
So we're talking about marginal gain. We're talking about a specific mindset. We're talking about a prediction.
Right.
You can predict pain. Oh, it's going to be a sufferfest. Oh, it's going to be painful. Oh, it's like you said, Candace, it's going to be brutal. You can predict that. Yeah. Or you can focus on the gains.
Right.
No matter how marginal they are. Even if the only gain is the victory was had just you convincing yourself to go out there.
Right.
Because if we're honest, something in us tried to talk us out of going out there.
Right.
But man,
you don't have to. You don't know.
You won't surely.
It's okay. Don't worry about it.
So just by you, like, what?
It's like, no.
Man, I don't care if I walk the whole time.
Right.
We're not staying in the house.
Right.
I mean, you know what I mean?
Right. Exactly. That's exactly what it is. But people, and that's so true though, because like the yeast, it's the small things that add up to big results. I mean, it's like that's what it is. Like, because the one thing, I mean, 1 Corinthians 9:24, like you know this one. Yeah. It says, "Do you not know that in a race all runners run, but only one receives the prize? So run that you may obtain it."
So run that you may obtain it. And it's so interesting because especially when we're talking about this, because even with, if we talk about, it always helps, and that's why I was willing to joke and say, on the race day that I got people like I've influenced people to like, hey man, we're going out there,
right?
It is what it is. We have to play our role in life. So I'm playing my role. I said, yeah, we're going out there, and then come race day, it's like, man, where you at? Like, I played my role, man. It was to get you out there.
Yeah.
It was for your marginal gain. It had nothing to do about the race. It had everything to do about your movement, your meals, and your mindset.
Right.
And if it took a little spark, because people don't realize what the race does. And the sooner that we accept what the race does for us, or like say with us, with the community, the 8Ms, 8M Adventure, it's like, we're going to Colorado.
Yeah.
Like, do you want to be hiking in the mountains at altitude and be suffering and not enjoying the scenery?
Right.
So when you start living your life a certain way, how do we get the marginal gains to never go away? So it becomes the point that we never have to knock the rust off. Or you see how people's like, oh, you're running It's a 21K.
Mm.
Oh, you signed up for the 50K? Like, there's levels to this.
Right.
You know? You're doing the ultra marathon? Like, people do this.
Right.
And then you're like, how'd that person become, how'd that happen?
Yeah.
Well,
marginal gain.
They were able to handle, like, the 5K came, like, oh,
It's like, I need to go up.
just like you. Second week, you already busted it up.
Right.
Busted 3K up, 5K up. Like, this ain't, what are we talking about?
Right.
I'm a 10K person now. So how long do you face that, have victory over that, rise to the occasion with that? And it's like, 10K is my baseline, baby.
Right.
But I do 10K warming up. Right?
Oh, I love it. Yeah.
10K
That's exactly it, man. See, yeah, I like that out.
But that happens. It's not to get that way. But it really, if you talk to anybody, it's marginal.
It's marginal.
Because you like the way you said, well, strength training, core, you start tapping, it's like, how does your body respond? Like, how do you have the physicality to be able to do that distance and like not fall apart?
Yeah. It's like a mind-body connection for real. It's a lot of mind.
And then you're literally like, what happens with, like, okay, well, you'll know, like, my hydration wasn't right. My nutrition was off.
Right.
Like, I mean, you start if you really allow yourself to get present in this moment.
That is so key, man.
And then get the feedback that you are telling yourself.
Yeah.
And to heed to it. It's like, you didn't drink enough water this week.
Right.
Not to do what you said you're going to do.
Yeah.
10K? You're out here dehydrated. How are you supposed to do this?
There's levels to it.
Like, you're electrolyte. You have no food that has electrolytes in it. And then sometime, I won't never forget going out for the SWAT team, man. People were getting,
they were gassed. They were done.
I mean, this specific one I'm talking about was people were getting rushed to the hospital.
Are you for real?
IV drip.
Wow.
But those people think stuff is a game. Like, you want to eat a few boiled eggs and a couple bananas.
Oh yeah.
The morning of it.
No, that don't work. It don't work that way.
You better make marginal gains with your meals.
Right. Yeah. That's a weekly process right there.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's, I mean, and that whole trial is them hazing you. So it's good when you have, but so in this instance, it's almost like, how can you haze yourself?
In a way, yeah.
So when you're running, and when you get the fiery dart or whatever, it don't even have to be fiery.
That's right.
It's you created it yourself.
Yeah.
When you're like, you say, I'm strong. Strong.
Just keep going.
What's your prediction? Gains.
I like that.
And you gotta have the voice too.
Have it.
You gotta have
the voice. If not, cut the voice out. Would you just use his voice?
Yeah, use it. You just run it back. What's your prediction? Gains.
Right. Oh man.
Because you gotta dig deep.
You do.
For gains. No matter how small. Because people think, oh well, you made the 50K. You did the ultra marathon, and that was the gain. Was you went outside and you made it to the track.
Yes. That's marginal.
Don't discredit that.
That's what I don't understand. People want it's like the magic pill version. It's like it don't work that way. It's the small things.
Yeah. And one of people I listen to sometimes always say, and I've internalized it because I know what it means. The older version of yourself is gonna thank this version of yourself for the marginal gains you made.
Yeah.
So if you say I'm in my 40s, when I'm 50s, I'm like, oh, at such and such days, you made it out to the track or the trail this many times, exponentially more than.
Right.
You actually did some stretches exponentially more than. Your meals got cleaned up tremendously because it was like, ain't no way this $1 billion body's gonna be running on that crap.
Right.
I need to put something in there worth something.
Right.
50-year-old version be like, man, I really appreciate that. The marginal gains is paying out, huh? looking pretty nice.
Oh man, but yeah, marginal gains, man. I love it.
I think, but I've been scheduling a race every year for.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just like that might be a mindset, man. Might be a thing. Like schedule your race,
right?
Because people don't realize what it does.
Yeah, they don't realize it.
Especially, and then invite somebody.
Yeah, it's even better when you invite people.
Because it's built-in accountability. Because have you ever said, look, that's why I said, that's why I played with it, say, like, man, I'm not even going to show up. Because people, I know people.
Yeah.
For some reason, it's the same way when we play games or something. They want to beat me.
Yeah.
But it's so funny because I'm going into y'all's neck of the woods.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? I'm going into things that y'all excel in.
Yeah.
But it's just something about, like, I want to bust Lee up. But it's okay. It's okay if that is what helps you
make the gains, man.
But so it's so funny. Like if you think, and you think I'm next level thinker, no, I've just been living long enough to understand. If I sign up for a race and then invite somebody to the race, you be honest with yourself right now and say, you will be like, man, ain't no way I can go out there and look crazy.
Right. I mean, there's no way you didn't think
maybe
they would go
if
through
I was
your
by
head.
myself, I would go walk the whole thing.
Yeah.
But Lee's gonna be out there.
Yeah.
Like, we gotta do something. Like, right?
Oh man. Yeah.
Or if I say like,
yeah,
man, Braxton's running 10K, man, second week, man, we gotta do something. It's built in.
Oh yeah, it's built in. It's a built-in accountability.
It's built in,
but you gotta have, honestly, you gotta have that stuff. You have to have that stuff. Yeah.
So what are you gonna build in so you get your marginal gain?
Think about it.
That's what it has to be.
Mm-hmm.
Build it in, man.
Yeah.
I like it, man.
Love it.
Marginal gains. Till next time.
This is your co-host here, Braxton Matson, and Lee and I just want to say thank you so much for tuning into this episode. We hope you've enjoyed it just as much as we did making it, but we couldn't do it without you. So please hit that like button, leave us a rating, leave us a review. Let us know what topic or subject that you would like us to talk about in your journey from mediocre to magnificent. But most of all, share it. Be the ripple effect of magnificence and know that you are magnificent in everything you do. Till next time.